liked pain, I was avoiding pain, I was managing if any, and I haven't had much in my life. And in that situation, when I had this real pain, and I just, in Second Life, first time I'd really dealt with pain, I just found myself groaning and moaning with it, bending over and like this, and just doing what my body wanted. And it was almost juicy to do that, juicy to have, to be living into the pain like that. I hadn't learned this. I just had come into being me more authentically, and I had to go into the hospital to get it treated, and there's a woman who's got to do the administration and take your name, and finally I'm just on the floor giving her information out of the side of my mouth as I'm also groaning, and it was just when I think of the picture now, it's crazy, but it was okay. I should be able to handle pain, going to transcend it with pain or something. This was going into the pain in the body, and being an animal body, being with pain that's already geared to being with it, knowing how to do it, how to live it. Mm-hmm. And so too, then in relationship, I have much more awareness, I have wisdom, and I have this recognition of the me that also needs to become fully alive and awake. And so the resistance, whether I need to speak it out or not, I'm honoring, I don't like that. And then sometimes I have to say I don't like that, and sometimes I do say it quite well, and sometimes I don't, because it's got its own energy. But it's, you can't imagine how freeing it is to a spiritual guy to be unspiritual, and to be honoring that self, kind of, I am resisting, I am sensitive too. It's a liberation into greater wholeness. These are great discussions in line with what we're talking about, because they are so much about our expectations versus our trusting being even in us, in a way that allows us to be whole while we're limited. Sooner or later, we've actually got to make that transition to not being perfect, and you do have your own justifiable sensitivities, aggravations, resistances, and discomforts that sometimes show up in demonstration. But even if you don't demonstrate it, it's still true. You're uncomfortable. You're aggravated. And it's not wrong. It's actually what it's like to be you in the presence of that.
And in terms of hurting someone else, you really only have two options. Avoid it altogether, which means don't have contact with them, or don't be true to yourself.
You don't need to surrender in this work. We tell people to check it out, always question it, don't take on any belief you don't want, don't believe one teacher only if you don't like what they're saying, go to someone that you feel more attracted to. It really is your own boss. And when we're talking about Greenlighting, well, Greenlighting is a form of surrender, but it's not really. It's actually giving ourselves the juice to be what we are, including what we don't want to be. Not because we're giving up, but because we realize we're not changing with our trying hard. And so we're going to give ourselves some room as an experiment to not make ourselves wrong, but still go to work, or still do this, but start reducing the pressure of judgment that we're not okay being us. So the word surrender will be useful in certain talks, but it's not the theme of this work. I would say the theme of this work is awareness, and awareness can be entered into when we can shift gears from doing. And that's where Greenlighting comes in, or recognition yoga. It's a form of surrender, but it's not really what we're doing. We're actually saying, let's tune in to what's going on and do whatever we want.